Welcome back to Forever True TV. I am your host, Angelique, and tonight we have a couple of our people here on the panel. We have Sade tonight, and we have Nakia. Preferably, we'll also have Jessica online shortly. But for now, we're going to go ahead and allow you guys to be introduced to the panel. So, Sade, let's go ahead and start with you with your introduction. You're live. Sade? We hear you. Sade? Did you get quiet on us? Okay, Nakia? Can you guys hear me? Well, for some reason, we can't hear somebody. So why is that? I'm doing what I can to make sure that we are live. You're going in and out. Hello? I can't hear you. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Okay, I think we have a bad connection. It seems like everybody went to mute. They're muting themselves. So you're on mute at this time. You need to take yourself off of mute. You're muting yourself. Sade, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I can hear you. Nakia, you've muted yourself, so I can't hear you.
I'm here.
Okay,
hello.
There we go. Okay, so what y'all trying to do? Y'all got nervous or something on me? Y'all made me nervous. Like y'all just gonna keep me out here to the woods by myself. But right now I want to go ahead and have you guys to introduce yourself. So Sade, go ahead and kind of like introduce yourself. You don't have to tell nobody exactly where you're at, but just kind of give me a feel on how did you hear about the case about Kanika. Let's continue from there.
Okay. Like I was saying, my name is Sade, and I'm from Chicago, but I live in Indiana. And how I heard about the case was from all over social media and from Angelique, learning a lot from her as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
go ahead. If you have something else to say, go ahead.
It slipped my mind. I forgot.
That's okay. That's okay. Okay, Nakia.
Okay, I'm Nakia. I'm from Delaware. I've been following this case since it happened. I had a bunch of mixed feelings about the case. I'm not sure what to believe and what not to believe with all the videos that I've seen. I do know that this child was murdered, and it's been on my mind since that day. And I just want to find out what happened. And my eyes are open to everybody's I guess ideas or whatever. I look at everything. I don't know what to believe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to find some closure for myself. And right now I don't have it, and that's what I'm looking for.
Okay. What about you?
Because as far as me, it's so many conspiracies and so many theories, and you don't know what to believe and what not to believe. So, it hit home when this happened. It really touched my heart, and that could have been my sister or anything like that. So, if it was any one of mine, I would want the same amount of fair justice, just as well as I know that Kanika deserves as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so when you first found out about it, Sade, I mean, what was your first thoughts, your first emotions when you first heard about it?
Just undescribable. I was angry, had 1,000,001 questions. It was just real heartbreaking. Like like I said, it touched me so bad. Like I was literally in tears, and I don't even know the young lady, but it hit home, like I said, and it's just undescribable, the way that it happened and played out, and what's going on as of now, and it's a closed case, and we still have no answers, but a lot of conspiracies and theories.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very heartbreaking. It was just like it was my own sister. It
Mm-hmm.
was heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Nakia?
Well, when I first saw heard of it, the 19-year-old walking into a freezer and freezing to death, that didn't sit right with me at all. I knew right in there in my heart that baby didn't just walk into no freezer. It looks like from what I've seen on the videos and stuff that I first seen before they start editing them and things, I was saying to myself, it looks like somebody is helping her along or showing her which way to go. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking that someone did something to her. She didn't do that by herself.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in the videos that I've been seeing, and then people editing and making extra things, and all these other videos just coming on. I just don't know what to believe. I even seen some myself. My one that stuck with me, and I'm always thinking about, is that bag. Her being in that bag, and then pushing her into the when they. It was a video that I seen, and she was coming. I think I sent it to Angelique of her being. Well, I don't know if it was her. We people debunked it and said it wasn't her, but I still believe that was her in that trash bag. I still
Mm-hmm.
believe that was a trash bag on her fingernails inside the kitchen where they found her. I
Okay.
believe that that's how she got. Another video I seen is when the security guard was pulling the trash bag down the steps.
Mm-hmm.
On her autopsy, it was saying she had swelling of the brain. I believe that's where that swelling of the brain came from.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they did something to that girl. I don't
Okay.
know exactly what. But she didn't do that on her own.
Okay. Okay. Well, we brought in Jessica. She came in. Hello, Jessica. How are you?
Hi. Hi. Hi,
How you?
everybody.
How you doing,
Hello.
sunshine?
I'm doing good.
Good, good, good. So my question is, uh, okay, hold on just one second. Let me just say, oh God. Okay, I'm sorry. This is our first time ever actually going
Yeah.
on live. And so I am really trying to make sure that I'm doing everything that is possible for us to be able to do this right. So we are doing the best that we can, going on live tonight instead of us going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But I wanted to make sure that we stayed on whoever is communicating and have things to say. So if you guys see that we are not actually responding to the side live chats, is because we are pretty much going to discuss some things about the case. So what I want to hear from Nakia has expressed her feelings right now. Sade has expressed her feelings. So I really want to hear from Jessica. Jessica, you brought up some good points when we were having our last discussion. Would you like to elaborate on that?
So I I've been following this case since day one. I'm a resident here of Chicago, not too far from Rosemont. So when I heard about it, of course, it was very touching. And I, it's I look at this as like a big puzzle in a sense because it's so many different factors involved in the whole case. Um, one minute I thought this, one minute I thought that. But as time has gone on, I have explored other, theories, other theories and things. I find myself thinking that, perhaps maybe it's not so much that, somebody actually did something to her.
Mm-hmm.
That it could have been that she did walk into the freezer and that she just passed out. That is a possibility. But because of the editing of the surveillance, which everybody knows at this point was heavily edited, um, it just, that's just a fact that nobody can really debunk, that that footage was edited. Anybody that debunks that is just crazy. That tells me that there were some individuals that had to be in the same area that she was seen in, or possibly also the kids as well, and that they were not supposed to be there, or maybe that would with them being there, it would have incriminated them. Um, and that's the only reason why I can really think that the surveillance was edited. In addition to the other possibility is that maybe somebody there actually was seen on camera doing something to her. I was telling my group that the first day that the media, Rosemont PD, released the footage to the media to bring the story out, a local news channel here, which was WGN News, aired a video. It was like maybe a minute video of her walking through certain parts of the hotel. And when she got down, the last frame was when she walked in that kitchen and turned that corner. And so I saw firsthand, because I actually saw the news when it first aired, two shadowy figures that were in the kitchen. They had squatted, like, I don't know if they was kind of climbing over something, but they had squatted down. It was two figures, and they were kind of like running as she was like walking. And so I don't know if, I'm pretty sure a lot of people saw the footage on Facebook where it was a female that had actually recorded it off her phone, and the video went live. But a couple hours later, WGN News removed that video and put up an edited version of the video, which was, you didn't see the two individuals in the kitchen. So that right there concerned me. That right there, you know, at first I thought, well, maybe they're just trying to, you know, keep this, under, just trying not to disclose this, because maybe they have suspects, maybe they have people they have their eye on. That was what I was first thinking at first. Like, maybe that's why they, Rosemont probably told them to take the video down, because none of the other news stations did that. They had the edited video up. This one local news station only had that one up with the two people in the kitchen with her. So I tried to give Rosemont the benefit of the doubt. I said, okay, well, maybe, this is an open investigation. They don't want to give out too much information, because then that'll just, sabotage the whole investigation. But as time went on, and when they released the files, and I'm looking at, the edited surveillance, slowing down the playback of the video, you see this, that, and the other, that kind of really made me believe, okay, now they are trying to hide the identities of either a person or persons that were possibly in the same camera view of Kanika Jenkins. So I'm just at a point now where I still believe, because of the editing of the footage from Rosemont Police Department, and not even that, but even the mother is still, from day one, still stating that she saw a camera above that freezer, and she has never wavered from that. So the fact that, first it was a camera, then Rosemont is saying it wasn't there, then they saying it's not working, all these different stories and lies that, the police department is put out, that right there still has me on the end of, not so much that she was murdered, but that she was not by herself. I don't feel like that supports the narrative that the police department put out, whereas she was all alone, she wandered off and went in the freezer and passed out. So that I don't agree with, just because of the editing of the footage.
Okay, that was a good debunking, and we will continue to look into that. If that's something that our panel wants to look into, we are more than welcome to to look into that. Before we go further on into our live feed, I just want to just tell everyone, thank you for tuning in with Forever True TV. I am your host, Angelique, and normally before we actually get started, we normally, just say, hey, we plead the blood of Jesus over each and every one of us tonight as we go through this here live feed tonight, and we are asking that God continues to bless everybody that is watching and viewing. In Jesus' name, amen. That's one of the things that I like to do, to make sure that regardless of what we're doing, we understand that we are debunking videos, debunking comments. We're actually explaining and expressing ourselves as a unit, as a whole. We are concerned about what's going on with the case. At the same time, I did have my conclusions. And my conclusion was that she did walk into the freezer. And my conclusion was that because I came to that conclusion is because I saw the footsteps of her tennis shoes in the freezer. There's a lot of people that are stating comments and things like that about that. And I want to kind of to get some expressions towards the end of the show. We would like to get someone to actually say that they would like to, hear and understand or express their feelings about, some of the photos that were out there. Those are some of the things that that are displeasing to us. That are nervous, they strike a nerve. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
So with that being said, Nakia, we're going to, since everybody has expressed their feelings of how they feel about the case, we want to also remain respectful and know that we do ask God to allow her to rest in peace. But there is people out there that still cannot come to a conclusion, that still want answers. So with that being said, tonight is about debunking some of the comments that came up under the actual video that Forever True TV posted about if she was still alive in the freezer. So with that being said, anything that everybody wants to say again on the live chat, we see Tamikia Parts says, to me, she has too many marks on her body to have just walked in the freezer. I truly believe that what you're saying is true about her walking in, about having her bruises. But the only bruises that I actually seen physically on the photos was the bruising that was on the foot. And those I can't not call bruising. I call those abrasions. If you look at them in a medical terminology, it is abrasions. Those are not straight up bruising. But the discoloration is because of the blood settling. So those are why you see just different discolorations on the body. Remember, our melatonin is dark. So when we bleed out, we're going to have a different color bruising as if you were to see in a Caucasian or a person with a light skin like this. So when you see bruising here, you're really going to see that boom, that dark purple. But when you have the dark melatonin, excuse me, not melatonin, I'm sorry. I'm so used to giving melatonin at work to these dogs. But the melanin of our skin, it's already dark. So we have a different color bruising. So that's where you see some of the bruising, the quote discoloration on the body is because of the blood pooling in certain areas and things like that. This is what my take is on that. Everybody has their own. Again, we are not here to say that anybody that is watching the live chat and their opinions are wrong. We're not saying that. We're just specifically being open about it and allowing other people to express their feelings. So that's one of the things. So what I want to do is if you don't mind, you guys, I would like to go over a couple of comments that was made on on the actual live, on the video. And those that are watching, share it so people can come on and express their feelings. Now, unfortunately, I may not be able to actually follow the actual live comments, but I have Sade here that can handle the live chat as well as Jeanette can handle it. And so I'm not going to worry about anything. And Marlene is here today. So I've made them moderators for today so they can handle what goes on the live chat while I'm handling the questions, and we are continuing on with the rest of our show. So again, I'm going to name off the names because they are actually public names. You could see them under the actual video. And all I did was just printed it, and then I'm going to go over it. So tonight we're going to talk with Jamira. There is a person by the name of Jamira Boherler. She actually responded 2 weeks ago. She responded and she said, there is no way that freezer door was closed with her foot and lip gloss clearly in the door panel. Impossible. They trying to play us like we stupid. Okay, so I responded back to Jamira, and I said, as you can see, the frame where the door closes on the outside of the frame, making it possible for the lip gloss to be where it is. I said possible. That was one of my questions as well. My sister actually told me that until we looked at the framing of the door, that's for your observation. Again, if you feel otherwise, please let's keep looking for more answers. Say that again. Did somebody, Jessica, did you just say something?
No.
Okay. So, Nakia, did you say something, hon?
No.
Okay. And Sade, you're okay, right?
Yep. I don't know where that just came from.
Okay, well, praise God. We probably got somebody else coming in. Michelle, are you here? Michelle, you're not here yet. Okay. So I had invited Michelle in, but I guess she didn't make it in. So, and Jessica may come in as well. So, I mean, not Jessica, Juanita, she may come in. I'm sorry, you guys. So, again, she is saying that the lip gloss that is clearly in the doorway of the and on the actual photo, it was impossible for it to be there. Well, if you actually look at the photo itself, which I did have up, unfortunately, we will not be able to actually look at the photo tonight. But on our next show, we will definitely show the photo because we will continue on to the next comments. But it will show that where the door frame is, it closes on the outside. So if this is the actual frame, her lip gloss is here, but the door frame is here. So when the door closes, it closes like this, but it still leaves this here area open as far as the frame is concerned. So I believe that the lip gloss was there. Now, how it got there, I don't know. She could have placed it there. Again, she really didn't have nothing in her hands when she was walking. I didn't see nothing in her hands when she was walking. So as far as that's concerned, answering that question to you, Demira, I believe that the lip gloss was there and the door closes, the frame is on the outside. So it is possible that the actual lip gloss could have been laying right there at the door. That's my my thing to that.
I can agree with that.
Demira she responded back and said, right. How can she lock herself in the freezer if she's blocking the damn door? They're contradicting themselves. So with that being said, I didn't never say she locked herself in the freezer. Now, as we were talking earlier, as we were stating, and what I was stating is how do we really know that the door was actually even closed when she walked in to the freezer? What if that freezer door was already open, just like the doggone door was open when she walked through the kitchen? So it's mighty funny that this stuff was happening at this time. So with that being said, I'm going to move on to what the response was to Demira from Sharon Smith. Sharon Smith says, she actually responds to Clive. She says, no, go close any door. It closes even in the middle of the frame. It doesn't go past the middle into the room. I think more people truly know that, but don't want to admit it. Go research. I mean, heavily research Topomac, but I think she's trying to say Topomac. And you'll see how likely it was that she went in there and couldn't get out. I spent 2 days researching it and now truly believe it was an accident. Though I really want to know where it came from and why it was in her system. So in general, what do you guys say to that? After she's seen our video and she's seen what they were talking about on the video about the door, she immediately came back and rebutted a week after what she read from Clyde and said that she believes that the lip gloss was on the floor. What do you guys say about that? Sade, what do you have to say about that?
Can you repeat that again one more time?
Repeat what the question?
No, the last part of what she had rebutted about.
Okay, so she said, so you can know, Demira said, how can she lock herself in the freezer if she's blocking the damn door? That's contradicting themselves. Then then Sharon Smith comes back and says to her, no, go close any door if it closes even in the middle of the frame. It doesn't go past the middle into the room. I think more people truly know that, but won't admit it. So go and research it. She pretty much says she knows about the Topomax because she did her research on it. She spent 2 days on it, and now she truly believes that it was an accident. But what she is concerned about is how did it get in her system? So the question to that, what I'm saying is what do you, how do you think, how do you feel about that? Sharon reads somebody else's comment. She watches the video and sees this here and comes back and rebuttal and tell her, no, the freezer, the door closed, but it was not causing a blockage where she could not, the lipstick could not be on the floor. So what do you think about that?
I mean, as far as with the door locking and stuff like that or whatever, her saying something about the frame, I think that that's irrelevant as far as if it's over a little bit too much, because we all know the basic of a door or whatever the case may be. But to come back and say that she's so how did the medicine get in her system? I think those are two different things that she's putting together. It don't sound like she knows exactly what she's trying to say. Exactly. These are two totally opposite things. So I think she's going in the wrong direction with what she's trying to prove or say.
Jessica, you have something to say on that?
Not really. I'm just thinking right now.
Nakia?
No.
Okay, so when it says Demira comes back and tells Sharon Smith, okay, and her shoe and her lip gloss is in the middle of the frame, clearly. So after he sits there and he goes through what he went through, he eventually says, okay. After all that explanation, he says, okay, it sits in the middle of the frame, clearly. So he must have went back and he started looking at the photo. So, so I'm going to move on down to to the fact that they feel that Clyde feels, Damaris says that, he says that he feels, or she says that it feels that it was a staged. Do you think that it was staged? And if so, why?
First of all, I mean, staging a death and stuff like that. First of all, I think that that's just off the wall, period. To even think about staging a death. I mean, I think that they're trying to make themselves believe something that they're not actually seeing. So they're saying, "Oh, it's staged." That's what I'm thinking. They don't want to believe what they're really seeing in the video. So I think that they're basically just going on with, "Oh, well, we'll just say that it's being staged," or whatever case may be. And that's a ridiculous statement to me, to be saying that, you know, the death was staged.
Okay. So, so now it says here, it says, this is what was really good. A lady named Carmel Dipped One says, I found this. One thing that stood out is, and can be, the medication is for bipolar. She says, wow, find a friend with the disorder. May find out how she got it in her system. But they're stretching it because who knows?
Right.
So the drug can also be used for bipolar. Do you think any of them was bipolar?
No.
Now, with all the stuff that's going on, we don't know who bipolar, because they all was. You wouldn't be able to tell if any of them was bipolar at the time.
Yeah.
They all was getting high.
Right.
With the majority of them at the party.
Right.
So
right.
who was the actual getting high? Who's bipolar? Anyway. So that would be a hard one. You had Irene all up in the camera. And again, we're gonna do what we did earlier. She was all
a whole lot of different emotion,
all up in there, and then you had then you had Monifa all up here, and then you had then who else did we have? Did you notice that Kanika really wasn't in the camera that night? Did you guys notice that? She really wasn't in the camera. It was all about Monifa. It was all about Irene and Bree.
That dude.
And those dudes.
Bree and that dude.
And Ty's sister, stepsister.
The one with the white shirt on, right?
Yeah. Even with them was scoping the whole room. They didn't leave it on everybody. They still brought it back to themselves. You understand? So again, I say to myself, why would you go on live if you know that you finna harm somebody? Right. Why would you put yourself on live and put yourself in that position to be questioned if you knew that this was going to happen? So those are questions that just really just are very mind-boggling to me about that. And that's what really gets to me on that. So with that being said,
but I think that they think that people like they're playing mind games, like, oh, well, we go online. They wouldn't think that it was us that had anything to do with it. Because why would we do something? So trying to play that reverse psychology role, I think is what they were doing.
And who do you think was playing the reverse psychology?
I think Monifa and Irene were the biggest ones.
Do you think that they put Monifa out there in the front line?
In the front line where? When they were in the room?
Take the fall if anything was to really go down.
Yeah.
You think that was actually was happening?
Oh yeah. She will be the one to take the fall if it ever came down to, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if it ever came down to like those group of individuals, she would be the flunky. She would.
Yep. Everything would be thrown on her.
And I say that because she was the last person that, well, according to the reports and according to even before Irene shut her Facebook page down, I mean, on day one, that's all you read was, well, you took out the room. You know, everybody said you took her out the room.
Yep.
So, you know, the last one seen with anybody that winds up missing or winds up dead is always the number one suspect. And that's with any kind of death investigation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because even the dudes were saying, well, you coming in here telling us to where's Kanika? You lost Kanika. And they were like, well, you was the one that took her out of here, so you need to go find her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's the sad part, that, you know, it's possible that, you know, she didn't have anything to do with, you know, her friend, you know, being discovered, you know, expired in a unoccupied freezer. Is, you know, she might not have had nothing to do with that, you know, but the fact that she was the last one she took out of the room, and you got like 30 some people that all said that, or 20 some people that said that, that doesn't, you know, that speaks a lot. You know, that's not gonna look good. And it doesn't, even now, with, you know, all the bashing and trolling that they're doing to her. I actually kind of feel a little bad for her. You know.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. No. I was just saying thank you, Sade.
No problem.
Reminder. So, so let me give you one more. Let me give you one more, or two more. Let's do two more, and then we'll be just about finished with our evening show. This one is from Lester Claypool, 13. No, excuse me, Lester Claypool 1. It was about 3 days ago. He says, the expected common side effects alone for a first dose of Topamax are enough to have impaired her as badly as she was in all of the video. My heart bleeds for the friend who thought she was helping her friend's headache and put into effect the series of events that led to her death. I also see evidence of paradoxical undressing in reaction to death by hypothermia on her body. I've responded to search and rescue, where signs that a tremendous fight went on, culminating in the missing being found curled up in a snowbank. The last seconds of hypothermia and what it does to your body in its last fight to survive are brutal.
Wow.
So thank you, Lester, for commenting on this here. It was that right there was some of the things that we had been looking at and trying to figure out, you know, some of the things that we were trying to figure out. What can you guys just kind of comment on that? Tell me how you feel about that. Nakia, how you feel? Nakia, you there? Jessica?
I'm here.
What do you feel about how this gentleman just expressed it himself?
Well, I you know, when it comes to when you talk about narcotics and different prescription drugs that you take, even as a first time user or whatever, I can't agree with the fact of when he stated that first time side effects, only because everybody does not have the same effect from taking something for the first time. Number two, we don't know if that had been something that she had been taking in the past. We only heard her mother state that as far as she knew, she wasn't on any kind of
medication
on that particular prescription. But then we do look at, you know, a lot of the teenagers, young adults popping pills to get high. So I can't necessarily agree with that statement. As far as the hypothermia, you know, my thing is, you know, because of the different things that Rosemont police stated in the beginning, because a lot of stuff they said was contradictory. They said this, they said that. You know, the biggest question that has been in my head is, was she found frozen solid when they discovered her?
Right.
That would tell a whole lot. You know, was she frozen? You know, and then if so, that was the whole thing too. That was on the media, social media. You know, people were Googling how long does it take to thaw out a body. You know, the third thing, you know, they were not able, according to the autopsy, they was not even able to provide a time of death, or even assuming, okay, she had been dead for, was she dead for 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours? So you have to look at all of those things, to me, in my opinion, to actually, you know, for me to actually conclude that, you know, she was frozen solid. You know, it's just, it's really hard to just kind of just go in that direction. But the way he explained it was deep. It was.
Real
But
deep. It
there's
was real
it's
deep.
so many other factors that are around that. In other words, so many questions that we don't have answers to. So it's hard for me to really agree with the whole she died of hypothermia. You understand what I'm saying? But the way he expressed himself in that statement was well done.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's just my take on it.
Okay. Nakia, did you have something you want to say?
No, okay.
Okay, so the last thing I want to, the last one I want to talk to you guys about, and again, I'm just kind of just grabbing and reaching for different ones, because you know there's this one I'm going to read. It's kind of long, and then we're going to go ahead and close out our show for this evening. So I want you guys to pay real close attention to this one. So this is by Miss L. Roscoe, and this was about 10 hours ago. She says, from a business perspective, a hotel would not stop operations to look for grown people who can potentially come and go as they please with who they please. So before I even say something, let me just say, she's responding to the video. And what I said in the video was, I mean, if they, you know, I said exactly pretty much what her mom was saying. Well, if they would have just went and looked for her immediately, went through the footage and seen the footage, they would have seen where she was, and then they could have went ahead and found her and saved her. That I did the exact same thing as if I was repeating somewhat of paraphrasing of what her mom was saying. So this is why she's responding to what I had said on the video. So with that being said, she says, can you imagine all the disgruntled people who would be running to the front desk looking for their cheating spouses, who they suspect might be in one of the guest rooms? Unfortunately, it just would not be feasible or ethical to pull the tape right off the back. Now, if this was a minor child, high alerts goes up immediately, and the search would happen immediately in spite of privacy to the other guests visiting at the time. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I'll reply first. She's right. I agree with her. From a business standpoint, it could have been the hotel, it could have been Kmart, Walmart, 19 years of age. She's legally grown. They were not obligated to stop their business to respond to any request to look for her. But the humane thing would have been to offer as much help as possible to not only the group of kids that was there, but also to the mother when she showed up. Mm-hmm. So that would have been the humane thing to do. You know, compassion, mercy. Now, has she been a minor? Then I do feel like
Jessica? Jessica? You went dead for me. Jessica, you went dead on me. Are you back? Okay. Nakia? Okay. All right. So moving on with that, I'm not even finished. She says, I just want to, because it's such a long paragraph, I want to stop and get your response on it. Okay.
Wait,
so
but for me to say something before you go on.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I look at it as if, you know, regardless of whether she was, you know, under 18, over 18, or whatever the case may be, from a business perspective, when they found out that someone was missing that had checked into their hotel, I believe that it became their business at that moment of time.
But listen to what you just said. I didn't cut you off, my sister, but you said if they checked into the hotel, she was not checked into the hotel. Remember, sister? But she wasn't the one checked into the hotel.
But she was known to be at the hotel.
Yeah, okay.
And the staff was alerted. They were alerted that she was there and that they couldn't find her.
Okay.
So I believe that by her being 19 years old, it shouldn't really matter what age she was. When you were alerted that someone was inside of your business, regardless of if she had checked in or didn't, she was there. And people were alerting you, several different people, mom, friends, everybody. And for you to feel like that it wasn't really your responsibility because she wasn't under the age of 18, it's like kind of ridiculous to say, because it became their business once they told the hotel staff that this girl was here and she's missing.
Right, and
so
they also
I don't really agree on the part with since she was over 18, that the humane part would have been to go ahead, and I think regardless, humane or not, it was their responsibility to go and check on that and look for this girl since she was known to be there and came up missing.
Okay, Nakia, what were you gonna say, honey?
I was gonna say I agree with what she said, what Sade is saying, and the mom had to come and she let them know that her friends that she came with, they were saying that she was intoxicated, so she was there. They know she was there. They witnessed that she was there. They told them they were looking for her. So I agree with you, Sade.
Yeah. Okay. So, with that being said, she also goes on to say, at what point do people realize that there are laws set in place that protect other people's safety and privacy in public places, especially in hotels, where people deem it as their home away from home? That's why it's important for young people and their parents to do their due diligence so that this would not happen. The mom, Kanika, and her friends are at fault, not the hotel. Says the hotel had no dysfunctions in their operations until these young people decided to have a kickback at their hotel. Says the only liability that I see is that they didn't call the police to break up the party once they start getting complaints from other guests. What do you feel about that?
I didn't even know it was complaints from other guests
Oh
in
yes.
regards to them. And
Oh yeah.
then,
It's even in the reports, my sister.
wow.
Hmm.
Um, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Can
Go
you
ahead.
go back to the beginning of that comment? I just lost my thought.
Okay.
Uh, the
Uh,
last little bit you just read, not the first set that you read and stopped, and we talked about it. The second set of it.
okay.
Reread that one more time, please.
Um, so it says that at what point do people realize there's laws that's set in place for other people's safety and privacy in public places, especially in hotels? It's like they're home away from home. And then she said,
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's important for young people and their parents to do their due diligence so that it would not happen. Now, you want me to continue on where it says about the mom?
Yes, they said the mom. If anybody is at fault, it's the mom and the friends, not the
Mhm.
hotel.
Uh-huh. So it says the mom, Kanika, and her friends are at fault, not the hotel. The hotel had no dysfunctions in their operations until these young people decided to have a kickback at their hotel.
I think that's
Um,
a
so it
ridiculous
says
comment
that
to say
at what point
because
Jessica, are you here? There's laws that set in place
Yes, I'm
for
here.
other people's safety and privacy. I think that's Jessica talking, or is that Nakia?
I'm here.
who's
Okay, who's talking right now besides Sade?
Jessica. Jessica.
Okay, so Jessica, you back on with us, sister?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had lost my connection.
That's all right. It happens. Go ahead. Jessica?
Oh, you want me to finish talking?
So Sade was actually finishing up on what she had to say. So let's finish up on what Sade was saying because she had me to repeat it right quick.
Okay.
So
mm-hmm.
Sade, go ahead and say what you were going to say, honey.
Okay, because they said it's certain laws in regards to the guest safety and things like that. For one, I don't think that any guest safety was at risk. For two, for them to say that it should have been the mom, the friends, and whoever else, and that the hotel was basically not the ones to blame, or they didn't have any defaulting in the operation that they were holding, is just ridiculous to say. Because for one, that was an unused kitchen, so it was supposed to be. There was no way that she was supposed to be able to get down there and get into that kitchen because it was supposed to be unused. They haven't used it in months,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a defaulty thing right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where they're going with.
Well,
Oh, well, the hotel is not at fault, but it should be the mother and all the rest of them. I don't agree with that.
okay. So
I don't.
so Sade, believe it or not, when I finish
Mm-hmm.
reading the rest of this here, you're going to see that she
Mm-hmm.
agrees with you. So that was
Mm-hmm.
good what you're saying. So Jessica, come on and tell me what you wanted to say, sweetheart.
Well, I do feel that, I do hold the hotel security and
Liable.
management responsible for the death of. I feel like they do have some accountability in that,
Mm-hmm.
just for the simple fact that they allowed and permitted drugs and alcohol, illegal drugs, and alcohol um, in the room. And then when they got complaints, they didn't put them out, which is what they should have did. And
Right.
yes, if they had did that, then none of that would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
But because she wasn't, or unless I was mistaken, wasn't checked in as a guest, I kind of do agree with what the lady stated as far as, do they really have a responsibility to uh, when someone reports somebody is missing, do they have a sole responsibility in helping to find out what happened to the person that's missing or whatever? Um, and yes, if it had been a minor, of course, a child or anybody, that would have changed the whole direction of how they actually went. but because, you know, she was 19, considered an adult, they felt like they didn't have any responsibility in that. So it's kind of a thin line when it comes to that, because it goes down to what are the policies and rules when you're dealing with these establishments, especially hotels. Are they responsible for every person that's checked in, or are they responsible for anybody that walks into their establishment? And so I think it's kind of a thin line when we look at that whole situation. But as far as the way that ended, they have a huge, they should be held accountable for that. Okay. Definitely.
Okay. So have you ever noticed that when you actually walk into a facility, or when you actually get ready to check in to your hotel, you call and make your reservation, they always ask you how many people are going to be in the room.
Right.
And they ask that question because they are being held responsible for each person. This is something that I was taught in one of my health classes. They ask you how many people, because God forbid something happens, such as a fire. Mm-hmm. They want to say there was 5 people in that room and they need to be held accountable. So mm-hmm. They'll go, okay, we got 4 people out of there. There's still 1 missing out of the whole family that was there. They may have told you how to do the fire escape. Everybody is outside. They're counting all their guests to make sure that all their guests are there. And the ones that are not there, they say they're missing. They were still in the hotel at the time that the incident happened. So these are the reasons why they ask these questions. So to answer your question, yes, I agree. But they're held responsible for every person that walks into that facility.
Yep.
That is the reason why they have insurance.
Mm-hmm. Not just the one.
Because they are held accountable for everybody that comes in there. We understand that we cannot get everybody that's going to be in that hotel room. Mm-hmm. But again, on the part that I agree on is the fact that where I feel that they neglected to call the police when they got complaints from the neighbors about the noise. Mm-hmm. I believe that they should have called the police right then and there. I do believe that. So,
especially because the security guard had came to the door and knocked on the door, smelled marijuana, saw them drinking and everything, and still ignored it and didn't report anything to the manager or nothing. They ignored that and let them continue to do what they were doing.
Exactly. Because they closed the door. They actually closed the door and said, oh, y'all got to turn it down.
Keep it down.
Turn the music down. Keep the music down.
Yep.
So we already know that they had already at least went up there one time. Now, how many times after that, I don't know. But I know that they went up there at least once. So
and that was on a live thing that Monifa had on her phone. Mm-hmm. Remember when someone knocked on their door and it got all quiet and somebody went to the door and answered?
That was Ty's phone. That was Ty's phone.
Oh,
it may have been on Monifa's too, but I know that it was on Ty's phone because Ty was like, give my keys, get my weed. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about getting his stuff, let him get up out of there.
Right.
And when they closed, he was like, turn the music down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Trouble or whatever.
But we was able to see that on the live.
Yes, we were.
Came to the door.
Yes, we were. Mm-hmm. We were actually able to see that. So, let me say the last part of this here because this is it. It says, but absolutely not liable for not finding her in time. So listen what it says. Mm-hmm. It says, the only liability that I see is that they didn't call the police to break up the party once they start getting complaints from other guests. But absolutely not liable for not finding her in time. It says, her decision led up to her untimely death. And I guess people don't want to accept that. Let the hotel continue to go in peace. Let this young lady rest in peace. She was an unfortunate victim of circumstances. When you live a reckless lifestyle, something reckless will eventually happen. It's downright sad, but it's the absolute truth.
Wow.
Now, this is what Miss L. Roscoe 21 said. But there was a young lady that was on here. That was going to be our highlight for tonight. But there was a young lady that actually had stated, she's saying that, oh, it's just so sad to see that. I was really touched by what she was saying, but there was actually someone saying how she should have, there was no way that the hotel would be responsible for you know, for her doing her actions, but where they do need to, where I think, and exactly someone else agreed on it. I have to look it up again, and we can go over it for tomorrow night's show. But just know that I feel that the hotel is negligent, because I hear somebody snoring. Is that Nakia snoring? I know she didn't go to sleep on our show. Did somebody go to sleep on our show? No. Nakia, we're gonna eject your ass from the show tonight. Now, who is that snoring on the show? That let them people, they let everybody know we bored on this show. This is our first night. Fell asleep on the show. Was it getting that good? Because, you know, normally I don't go unless it's a good movie on television. I'm sorry. If it ain't nothing on can you believe that when I go on television, when I go to sleep, I sleep every night with a television on. And if there's nothing good on television, I'll flick the channel until I see something good and then go to sleep. So I'm not gonna say our show was bad. I'm gonna say our show was damn good for her to get some sleep, because we had a good night tonight. And with that being said, with that being said, we'll be back tomorrow night. We thank everybody who tuned in tonight. I know we had a small group, but it's okay, because we're going to have bigger groups as we continue on, and we continue on to share and allow people to see what is really what is out there, and how people are really, you know, commenting and posting. We have over 53,000 views within 2 months of us going live, going up with Forever True TV. So, so the good thing is that we're not here, again, we're not here for the views. We're not here for the likes. We do ask people to like, subscribe, share, you know, but if they don't, so be it. Because what we're here is to expose what we think about and how we can debunk people's comments and come up with answers or clues for other questions to be answered. So with that being said, Father God, in the mighty name of Jesus, we thank everybody who came on tonight and watched our show. And we thank you, and we look forward to seeing you guys. You guys go in peace. And as we always say, I love you. You guys want to say where you guys at? I am Angelique, Forever True TV. Tune in with us tomorrow at, what time we coming on tomorrow? We're coming on at what, 5 o'clock? No, 4 o'clock? Yep. We're coming on at 4 o'clock. So tune in tomorrow at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on your dial again here at Forever True TV. I love you guys. You guys all say hello and goodbye.
Love you too. Goodbye, everybody.
Good night.